Hi, grade twos. Today our lesson is going to focus on gratitude and writing our letter of gratitude to something in nature. So for today's video, you're going to need your planning page from Monday's lesson. You're going to need either the template that I provided you or just a journal or any other piece of lined paper. And then of course, something to write with. So just to review before we start our letter writing, our writing goals. So we're going to make sure that we're keeping this in mind while we're writing our letter today, because even though the thing in nature we picked isn't necessarily going to read our writing, we still want to make sure that others that are going to be enjoying our writing, and who knows, maybe people in our PGE school community will get to enjoy your writing. So we want to make sure that our writing is clear, as always, that we're using the correct periods, question marks, and exclamation marks. We're leaving nice good spaces between our letters and words. Our writing is neat, and that we're using our Gummit skills. We also want to make sure that our letter is going to be interesting. It has interesting details. We're going to try to use some interesting words. Maybe we'll even incorporate some of our senses, and similes we'll be talking about pretty soon here in the future. So keeping this in mind while I'm doing my letter writing today, I'm just going to push it to the other side of my desk here. So our planning page is really important before we write our letter. You need to know, well, what are you writing your letter about, and, well, what's your gratitude? So I've gone ahead and I've brainstormed the different things that I'm thankful for in nature, such as fresh air, green trees, a cool breeze, warm sunshine, soft grass, bright flowers, and of course the different seasons. We're really lucky that we have 4 distinct seasons where we live. The one I'm going to zoom in on though is I picked the soft grass to write my letter to. So I am most grateful for soft grass in nature. I'm grateful for this because... So when you're thinking of your 3 reasons, try to make them really personal to you. We're going to try to avoid saying things like, it looks nice, or it's green. Things like that are not very personal. Why is soft grass something you're grateful for? Well, for me, I love being able to lay down in the green grass in the summer and read my book. So that's the first reason. My second reason is, well, and I even said you because we're going to be writing it to grass in our letter. Green grass, you are soft for me to land on. And I'm going to elaborate a bit in my letter about that. And my third reason is it smells good. The smell of fresh grass is so relaxing. So again, I'm going to keep my planning page close by as I've already done part of the work. We're simply just going to put those ideas into full sentences into a letter. So every letter has, of course, the person who it's addressed to and the person who it is from. So if you're using a different piece of paper or your journal, we're going to start, of course, by writing Dear. Who is your letter for? I picked soft grass, so for Dear, I'm going to write Dear Soft Grass. I recommend you use a pencil so that if you make any errors, you're able to simply erase it. I am going to use a trend pen though so that you guys can read this from the video here. Dear soft grass. Now, what would be a good opening sentence? Probably saying something along the lines of, well, I'm grateful. So we're gonna of course start our letter at the top, very first line. I'm realizing these lines might be a little bit small, but I think this is gonna be a good challenge for you to kind of experiment using different sized lines, because you kind of have to adjust your letters and your spacing. We don't always in life have nice, neat lines to write on, and sometimes we have to write in small spaces. So, dear soft grass. I'm going to start by saying, I am grateful for you. Remembering that I always need to start my piece of writing with a capital, I'm going to say, I am grateful for you. So notice that I've said you. So I'm going to write my letter as if the soft grass could read it. Okay? I am grateful for you. Well, that's a good opening sentence, but now it's time for me to introduce the 3 reasons why I'm grateful for the soft grass. I am grateful for you. Now, I'm going to be really specific, which means that I'm going to add in some really personal details. So going back to my planning page, the first thing I picked is I can lay down on you and read. So I'm going to say, because, well, I don't lay down on the grass in the wintertime. That's something that I do in the summer. So I'm going to say, in the summer, again, using a capital after my period, a nice space between my sentences as well. In the summer, I love laying on you while I read. And I could just say while I read, but I'm actually going to keep going. While I read so I'm adding in an extra detail, while I read my favorite chapter book. Period. So again, just notice how I've taken my one simple idea and I've kind of buffed it up a little bit and added in extra details. So it says, in the summer, I love laying on you while I read my favorite chapter book. So you can even go ahead and add a little check mark if you'd like. So I'm gonna put a check mark. I've added that idea into my letter. Then I can carry on and explain the 2 other things that I'm grateful for. Again, I'm really gonna try to elaborate. So you are soft for me to land on. When I put that into my letter, I'm probably gonna elaborate and say, when I practice cartwheels, I like practicing on you because you are soft for me to land on. For you smell good, I might elaborate on that by saying, I love waking up in the morning and smelling fresh cut grass. It reminds me that it is summertime. So those are just more ways to kind of add in our own personal details. So I'm not going to model all of that for you, but once you get down to the bottom, we're going to need what's called a closing sentence. So a lot of the time, our closing sentence mirrors our first sentence, or it can also kind of just summarize all the ideas. So I could repeat, I'm grateful for you, again at the bottom to close up my writing. Maybe I want to change up the wording a little bit. I could also say something along the lines of, these are the reasons I'm grateful for you. I'm actually going to make it a little more personal again. And so again, I would have my other 2 reasons here. I'll just put a number 2. That would be my reason 2. And a 3, my reason number 3. I'm going to end with saying, you are so important to me. So that's one of the ways that we could wrap up. Again, you could say, I'm grateful for you. You could say, these are all the reasons I'm grateful for you. Just really wrapping up what we had said. Then, of course, we want to make sure that we fill in the very last thing at the bottom, and that's who it's from. Love, Miss Blakely. Once you finished your letter, I'm encouraging all of you to take a camera and just record yourself reading your letter. I'm hoping that I can submit some of your letters to our PGE Community Connections weekly video. We're going to be doing a spotlight on nature and gratitude over the next couple weeks, and I would love for some of our grade 2s to be featured in that video. Have fun being grateful.